Namaskaram, Akka.
Namaskaram.
I'm so excited. And I never know how to start, so we just start.
Let's just start. Sounds
Let's
good.
start. So, can you please tell your name, where you're from, and just a little bit more about yourself
Sure.
first? Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm Savita, and it's been a pleasure to meet Natalia. We met first day of Sadhanapada doing farming seva, which was amazing.
Yes.
It was cool to talk about our backgrounds and where we're from. You coming from Russia and me coming from the States. But I was born in India, in Hyderabad. And then I moved to the United States when I was 3. We immigrated there with my family when I was young. Grew up in Texas, kind of went all over for school. And I work as a doctor over there. I'm a physical medicine and rehabilitation doctor, and I specialize in brain injury medicine, so taking care of patients with brain injuries and strokes and different things like that. But yeah, from Texas, and then decided to come here and do Sadhanapada, and it's been awesome.
Well, before we talk about Sadhanapada, actually, how did you know about Sadhguru? And were you actually interested in yoga before, or like in spiritual seeking? How did the journey start for you?
That's a great question. So I actually didn't know about Sadhguru before I did inner engineering, which is kind of unusual. Most people find him on YouTube.
Right,
And most
on
people,
YouTube,
YouTube, social media, and then they go through all these videos and they find it intriguing, so they go do inner engineering. And for me, I had a friend call me up and she was like, "Hey, do you want to learn this thing called inner engineering?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So
Without knowing who is Sadhguru, right?
I really didn't know who he was. I hadn't watched any of his videos, no talks and stuff. And I had been doing some Kriya practices before. So to answer that question, I love doing yoga. I've learned different types of Kriya yoga from different gurus. And all of them have helped me in my life at some point. And I think I came to a point where my energy was just low. And I was like, maybe I need to learn something new. Maybe it's like time for me to level up and learn something different. Maybe this will help. And so both me and my friend Renu decided to go from Texas to Tennessee, and we did inner engineering in person in the Tennessee Ashram. And that was so cool. And those were the first videos I saw of Sadhguru, and that's when I learned Shambhavi. And it's been a cool experience since, honestly.
Wow.
Definitely a lot has happened since then.
Yeah. And like, since you've been already into like yoga, as you mentioned, like you learned so many different things from different gurus, how this was different from those?
I think all of them have been powerful. I think any Kriya practice taught to you by a guru can transform your life. And I think each of those has transformed my life. And I think what was different about this was how much my life shifted after I started doing inner engineering. And in some ways I made a completely new friend group. In other ways I lost friends that I've been friends with for 5 to 10 plus years. Things started to shift so much around me once I learned Shambhavi. And in some ways, my spiritual path is almost accelerated, because I would have never thought about leaving my life and my job and my friends and family to come and do an 8.5-month program in India. But I started on this path, and now I'm here in India for 8.5 months. So that was definitely not on my radar or my life plan. So I think it's accelerated something in me more than those other practices.
Okay. So and you just followed your inner longing, or what was that like? And then you came without even understanding why, because I guess till now, now we kind of have some answers, but even before, why? What is this for? But the journey was amazing here in Sadhanapada.
Oh man.
But maybe we can come to that first day when we met.
First day of farming seva.
We are coming here to Sadhanapada in 2 batches, and we were both in the first batch. We came in June 2025, and then the first ever seva assigned to us was seva is a volunteering, like what you have to do here. So the first 5 days seva was farm, and we met there, and then what did you think of the first day?
Oh my God. Also, it wasn't 5 days, it was 7 days. I counted each of those days.
I remember 5 days.
It was 7 days. And it was so hard. I remember the night before looking at my phone on WhatsApp and the seva department being like, tomorrow you're going to be needed in the farm. And I just remember looking at one of my roommates with the most dread, because I was like, I know this is going to be hard. It's like monsoon season and it's also hot, and like, am I cut out for this? And I just had like a look of dread. And she even like to this day, she's like, I still remember the night before you got, you know, your first day of farming seva, you just looked like you were so scared.
Because we were so excited to receive this message. What's the first seva? What's the first seva? Everyone, oh, Devi temple, this. And like farm. Like, oh, is it going to be to the rest of our Sadhanapada, right? We didn't know anything.
Yeah, yes. And showing up there was so cool. I remember the first time we all met. I think it was a group of 18 of us from, I think, 16 different countries, if I remember correctly.
Like United Nations.
Yeah, it was like literally the United Nations of Sadhanapada. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, how cool is this? And we got into a circle, and our Purnanga, Dylan, had us go around, say our names and what country we were from, and probably like one other detail and stuff. And as people were going around saying where they were from, I was like, this is remarkable. Like, in what circumstances or situations do you meet people from like all over the world? This is so cool.
With the same purpose.
Yes,
same
for the
seeking,
same
right? We
purpose.
were all united at some way.
That was so cool. I feel like we're all kind of bonded from that first day, right? We still kind of keep tabs on each other, which is really sweet.
Yeah. And then it was like a rainy season, so our farm, so we were like weeding and doing some stuff, and but we were like, it was first or second day, like we were full of mud, and it was like rainy and cold, not cold, but like we were wet, and it was chilly, and but we're showing up for seva, coming there, and just like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen next. And after, I thought 5 days, but you said 7 days.
I counted each day.
We were done with that. And then we got another message saying that, okay, now your seva is different.
Yes.
And you also got in Chandrakund,
yes,
right?
We were like, there for Chandrakund too.
The second seva, we were again together. And
yeah, that was lovely.
Right? And we were like, at that point, I don't know how many, like maybe 500 people arrived already. But out of all people, like we were again together. Like what I'm trying to say, like, again, the second seva, we're again together. And Chandrakund is like where you don't do much. So after farm, it felt like, oh, so relaxed.
So relaxed. We went from like doing hard physical labor for 7 hours a day in harsh weather conditions, right? Like it was pouring down rain. We had our raincoats, didn't matter. We were still completely wet. Your feet are getting soaked in the mud. You're like touching so many different things. There's bugs, and you just have to get used to everything, because it doesn't matter if it's pouring down rain or if it's really hot, you're still weeding, you're still like doing things, you know, on the farm. So that was like a very unique experience. It was hard, but like I look back and I feel like I learned so much even in those 7 days. And then going to Chandrakund, we literally were holding signs that said, please remain silent. So it was just like very different.
Silent.
It was just like, it was so remarkably different. And that was also a valuable experience too.
Yes. And then we were like, oh, what was actually harder? To be like actively doing things, going to absolutely like silence and stillness, and you don't do much, but you still like keep an eye of people and like still guide them, but then it's like completely different level. And then your brain, then the thought comes, right? That was the hardest. Like at least in farm, you're like distracted and you do things, and now you're just all by yourself with your thoughts, staring at the wall, water sound, and then you're like, okay. But that's why it was powerful. That seva was powerful to me.
It was, and to be in that consecrated space for so long was, that was beautiful.
And after that, that second seva, then we were kind of moved in different directions in different other departments. So what was your seva about? The next one?
After that was Bhiksha Hall, I think, in Akshaya. So a lot more general volunteering through the ashram, because I was an ashram volunteer for a while before I got my permanent seva. So it was nice because I got to see so many different parts of the ashram. I was also in the nursery for a while. So the plant nursery, so we got to plant a bunch of seedlings and help out in that department, which is also related to safe soil. So I feel like I went through a lot of different, and then also Devi temple office. I got to write like family names on palm leaves and got to help out with some pujas and stuff. So it was like a sprinkling of so many different parts of the ashram before I got my final
I had only here, like.
Well, that's good. That's good too. That's good too.
Okay, and then the permanent one?
Yes, I'm in the Sadhanapada Overseas Application Department. And that's been fun, and that's been my permanent seva. So for at least the last 5 months, if not more, which has been great. We help process the applications, do interviews, just for the overseas batch. So like you and I, you know.
Yeah. Were you doing interviews yourself? Like
So I was doing some interviews, mostly on the communications end, answering emails, WhatsApp messages, doing some processes like that.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
And I would ask, I want to ask you a question. What was the hardest thing actually to adjust in Sadhanapada? Is there like, or is more than one?
Like.
And then the easiest.
The easiest thing.
The easiest and the hardest thing here.
I think the hardest thing was just shared accommodation for me, because I went from living by myself in a 1-bedroom apartment with my dog to like living with 7 other women in a shared dormitory space. That was the hardest thing. I think like legit, like I can wake up early, I can handle the schedule, get my productions done, show up to sadhana and seva, eat 2 meals a day like that. You know, I can adjust to that well, but I think just sharing space with people and realizing you don't really have time alone. You're going to be with somebody throughout the entire day, right? There's really no sense of privacy. So I think the introvert part of me had a hard time adjusting to that. And now it's not a problem. Like it's just, it's fine. Like it's like great to come home to so many people and to talk about your day or to have a conversation or to laugh about things. And I was a light sleeper when I got to Sadhanapada, and now I can sleep through anything. I think you even knew. Like my bunkmate below me, her lock, she locked her keys inside the locker. So fun. Literally somebody from the department had to come and like break the lock, but it wasn't a normal lock. It was a thick lock.
And it was so loud when they were breaking. And I came into the room and I saw that bang, bang. And she was just like sleeping on the top of it. I was like, girl, are you okay? Are you alive? Like, how?
And it didn't even bother me. I was like, whoa, I've come a long way. Like I used to like be, awoken by anything. And then having that lock, I could like know the lock was being broken. I thought to myself, it'll eventually break and you can go back to sleep. It's fine. Like I wasn't irritated. I wasn't mad. I was just like, it's just happening. She needs to get her stuff, so it's fine.
Oh my God.
I was like, that's some transformation.
I literally, yes. I couldn't even be in the room. Like I left because it was too loud. And you're right there,
I was just
sleeping.
like still sleeping. I was like, it's fine.
Okay. And now we're actually roommates.
I know. That's so cool. Day 1 we were together, and now like the last day we're together. So that's like such a treat.
It's so random because we got shifted like 5 times.
Yeah.
With like 5 times and like different roommates and all, so we cannot choose with whom we live or like which bed, like upper, lower banker. And then the last room we got, I was like, oh,
hi! How cool! Day 1 to the last. Like that's a treat. That's so cool.
Yeah. All right. So that was the hardest thing. And then the other things you said it was easy to adjust. Food and all the schedule, sadhana.
I
wake up early.
Yeah, I enjoyed doing all of those things. I had no problem with it. I think the easiest thing for me in Sadhanapada was not having to make decisions. I went from like a day in the life back at work and in Texas where my job was entirely making decisions. I walk in there, if I have a roster of 25 patients, that's 25 decisions I'm going to have to make, possibly 25 conversations I'm going to have with patients and their families about the next level of care and what to do next and all these things. And then I come here and I don't have to make decisions. Like I don't have to, everything's done. Like I have specific, like our dress code down to like what we eat when we show up for sadhana. I was like, I have 0% decision fatigue. I don't make any decisions every day, so that was really nice just to like take a break.
Oh, that actually was the hardest thing for me.
That was the hardest thing? See?
Because, the privacy part also, but I got adjusted to it really quickly to live and share the space, surprisingly for myself. But like the schedule that we had, I actually wanted to do something else or something in between, or like to put like pepper wine or like drinking chai, like, right? Or tea, or like having conversations. Like I wanted to do my stuff. But then, like, and I was trying to put it in until I was like, okay, there is not much time to do my stuff. And what is my stuff? Why I keep doing that? Like, so then it was like then I enjoyed the schedule. I saw the value of it, and I saw then you're not distracted to so many things. And then I saw the growth which was happening in my sadhana, in my just life.
That's beautiful.
Say. But initially I would struggle with having a schedule and not my own things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Actually, I want also to ask you about the yantra ceremony that you've just done recently.
Yeah.
We never talk about it. And
I know we haven't.
Yeah. I remember you excited like to go there.
Yeah.
You said that you will be going, and then how was it for you?
It was so cool. I have to say one of the best parts was having a room to myself for 3 days. I was in Nalanda. Yes, I know. I was like, oh my God, this is what it's like to go to sleep in quiet and to wake up in quiet and just to like not be around anybody. I was like, this is like, and then to take a warm shower. I was like, oh my God, the little things.
Shower.
I know, it was just like so lovely. That was just so nice to be by myself for a little while. And literally the first day of the yantra ceremony, all I did was sleep in my cottage room and then wake up to go like to get meals and spend the hall and then go back and sleep and then wake up to get another meal. I didn't realize how tired my body was from this entire process and how much I just needed to like decompress. So that was like a really nice part of it. And I think it was just such a beautiful ceremony with Sadhguru, you know, and I'm sure there's videos on Instagram you can look at and hear about people's different experiences. And I think it's probably different for each person, right? Just like your Sadhanapada experience is different than mine.
Right.
And then my yantra experience is probably different from everybody else that was there. But it was a beautiful way to connect to something bigger than myself and to bow down to something bigger than myself. And I think one of the things I've struggled with in the program is bhakti sadhana, like looking at something greater than yourself. I think I've been able to do that with animals, but not necessarily humans. And I wanted something to help me get deeper into that when I went back home. I wanted a sadhana space that was consecrated. And after living here for 8.5 months, I was like, how can I go back to something that's not consecrated? So that was another reason why I wanted to bring the yantra home. And then also to be devoted to something and literally look at the yantra and Devi as bigger than myself and to put that into practice every day that I'm home, I thought would be a really good tool to develop.
Yeah.
You know?
Nice.
Yeah.
And like favorite temple, like Jnanalinga or temple, like which temple you would run to?
I love both of them, and they're so different because it's like in Dhyanalinga you can find such stillness. And I think for myself, I found just it's like getting a big hug. You know, there's just it's like dynamic, and then in Dhyanalinga it's stillness, but you need both in life, right?
Right.
And that's kind of how I felt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
For me, it was like in the beginning only Jnanalinga. Only. I don't know. I just like the stillness, the quietness, and the energy. Like I just felt the energy there so much. Devi was like I was a bit scared. I don't know of the energy there. So I was just like, Namaskaram, Devi. I'm going to Jnanalinga. See you later.
I love that.
And it's been like months. And then one day, something happened, and then she was calling me. She was like, come. And I'm like, no, for a few days. And then initially there was a moment that I just came and I don't know, just like fully like surrendered. I sat there, I was crying and something shifted. And I was not preparing for that. I was not doing anything for that. It just happened. And since that day, I was like, okay, now I'm coming to Devi and not scared anymore.
Oh, how wonderful. That's so beautiful.
Something like that. But
That's
I don't
really
know what
beautiful.
was happening between us.
You don't have to know what's happening,
right?
right? It's just, it's something beyond logic, right?
Yes.
And that's the cool part.
Okay. And what is like one thing that you're looking forward the most going back home?
My own bathroom.
I actually laughed about that a lot.
My own bathroom, just like my own
Clean.
space. I know, I don't have to share with anybody. Like, you know, oh my God, I'm looking forward to that. And just having a mattress, because like a core pie is not a mattress. Like that's a straw mat, okay? But it's not a mattress.
We sleep on the hard surface here.
Hard surface, yeah. Which has been good for my back, and I appreciate that. But like just the little things I'm going to appreciate so much more going back, like having a mattress, having my own bathroom, just like a warm shower, like little things like that, like my washing machine. I will do a puja I will bow down to my washing machine when I go home. Okay, I would do full on puja. You know, like just little things like that you don't even realize were a luxury. And then I'm going to go back and appreciate it on a different level, like a very different level.
Yeah. Because once you don't have them here, you're like, oh.
Yeah. Little things.
Even like to flush the toilet.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you cannot flush it here how we
Yeah,
like a bucket and water and then
so that was hard for me to adjust to, using an Indian toilet when I got here, and then flushing things in the morning. I was like, every day when I filled up that bucket and I flushed it, I was just like, remember, Savita, you chose this. Like, this was your decision, you know?
7 months to go.
Yes, I know. I was like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? And then those things like just stop becoming an issue at some point.
Right.
Like at some point there were like such big issues to adjust, and at some point you don't even think about it anymore. Like it's not a problem, it's not an issue. And then things just get easier.
Yeah. Okay. And have you noticed any shifts within yourself? Like, as you said, you like different things that were an issue, like privacy or that, eventually were not an issue anymore. Anything else like you've noticed within yourself what changed, or for now it's like too early to say? Like,
you know, it's interesting. I was like taking a walk back with one of my seva mates, Riva. She's incredibly kind and such a wonderful person to work with, and we're walking back. She's like, you've changed so much. When you got here you were pretty angry and aggressive, and then as time went on, like you just kind of softened and you have a glow about you and you're just so much happier. And I was like, that's interesting. And I think I thought about it even just like in the last hour since she told me that, and I was like, I think I was irritated with a lot of things when I came here, whether it was like living with other people or things happening in my seva. And now I don't get irritated by those same things anymore. So I'm sure there's like the internal friction is gone, or at least reduced somewhat. And I think journaling has helped a lot. And, you know, one of the things I've noticed is I respond more versus react to things. Right? Like there's just things happen around me and I don't react as quickly. And inside, when this outside stuff happens, I'm like, there's not these big fluctuations. It's kind of like smaller. Not that things don't irritate me, but they don't irritate me as much.
Right. That's a big thing, actually, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you miss about the ashram the most?
Number one for sure, like the friendships I've made. Oh wait, no, Diksha Hall for sure. Diksha Hall will be second. The food we eat at Diksha is so great. Yes. Although sometimes the lunches, I'm like, this is too healthy. Like this is too healthy. Like I eat healthy back home, but coming here, lunches at Diksha Hall, I'm like, this is way too healthy. But it's good for you. I appreciate it. Number one would be the people that I've met and the friendships I've made. And like I said, from like all over the world, which is so cool. Like in what other setting are you going to meet people that speak this many languages from so many different parts of the world with the same mission? Yeah. Right? To have, you know, seek something greater than yourself. Like we're on this journey, right? We're all spiritual seekers. I'm going to miss that the most, but definitely food number two. And then three, probably the structure. You know, like getting up this early, having a full day, going to bed at this time. Like you have all these cues throughout your day on what you should be doing. And you're not going to have that back at home because you are your own Sadhanapada team when you go home, right? You're not going to have wake-up support and nighttime ambient support.
Yourself.
Yeah, you have to do it all on your own, right? You become your own Sadhanapada team. Probably those three things.
Okay, nice. And I was just like thinking, since I've never been to US and the ashram there, how different the ashram there versus this one?
You know, I feel like it's changed probably so much because I did inner engineering in 2023, and even in the past 2 to 3 years, the ashram in Tennessee has grown so much, and now it's like this budding yogic city. And I'd gone twice to the ashram, and that was like a 6-month break, maybe a 5-month break, and even from like February when I went to July when I went in 23, it already changed so much. There was so much more new construction and places to live and all of these things. So I can't imagine what it looks like now with a golf course coming on and all these amazing things. you know, like it's obviously in the United States, and so there's going to be a lot of like cultural differences. But I appreciate that Sadhguru doesn't want to make it a replica of India. It's its own thing in the United States. It's its own kind of culture and vibe. The courses are taught exactly the same. Like if I've taken courses in India or the United States, I mean, word for word, line for line, whether you're doing BSP or Shunya or Hatha Yoga, everything is so standardized. So you're getting the same quality of programs. But it's going to be a different environment. The food's different. That's one thing. So, you know, in their Bhiksha hall, you're not going to be sitting down on the floor eating with your hands.
Really?
Yeah. No, and it's not going to be where they come and serve different things to you. It's basically like open batch. And so there's going to be a few volunteers behind, you know, whatever food there is, and then you bring your plate up and they'll serve you as you come down the line and stuff. And then you sit at a table, and you eat with utensils. You can eat with your hands if you want, but I mean, most people eat with utensils, and there's going to be harder things to eat, like soup and stuff. So usually with a spoon. So that's different, you know? And there's not, I mean, you're going to have Indian food every day when you're here in the ashram, but in Tennessee, you're not going to have Indian food every day. You know, so the food's definitely
but still
different.
healthy and
it's
good.
Still healthy
vegetarian,
and so delicious.
No pizza, no hamburgers.
No pizza, no hamburgers. They have awesome everything else. But yeah, so food's definitely different.
Yeah, actually, these two things I cannot imagine doing, like eating with a spoon or like not with your hands, and also walk wearing shoes. Like now I'm used to walking bare feet like all the time.
Yeah.
So.
And I think I mean, from when I was in the Tennessee ashram, I remember wearing shoes most of the time, except obviously when you're in temple or consecrated spaces. So I don't, but I also didn't notice I was there for such a short amount of time, right? So I don't know if more people are walking without shoes or not. So.
Okay. I want to ask you about like Sadhguru, but I'm thinking like what exactly, but I feel like to ask.
Ask away.
So, like how to structure my question? It's not like what do you think of Sadhguru, but like how did he change your life? If he changed your life, like what meaning or new sense of life he brought into your life? Or like, because so much wisdom he's sharing, so much things, but unless you experience them, they just things, right? In terms of knowledge or whatever. But when you experience what he's saying, it's a different level. So what was your experience of his words, or maybe programs, or maybe you can share like BSP and Shunya and all the programs you've done in the US or here?
I did it in the US, in the LA Center actually, the LA Ashram.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, maybe we'll break down this question, like, but just first of all, Sadhguru, like, what's your...
Sadhguru himself.
Yeah.
He is... Oh, there's so many things. You know, I didn't come here necessarily for him. Like, I didn't come to Sadhanapada for Sadhguru. I came because I wanted to come out of the comfortability of my life. My life was very comfortable. And when it becomes so comfortable, then you come to a place of stagnation. You're not really growing. But when you're put in a place of discomfort, which a lot of Sadhanapada is, right? It's pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. That's when you start to grow. So I didn't necessarily come for him. And over the course of the last 8.5 months, I think what I've been truly inspired by is that he really is like a mother to the world. The way that he gives himself to humanity is beyond anything I've ever seen. I remember somebody asking him in a podcast or an interview, they were like, "Are you a devotee of Shiva?" And he laughed and he said, "No, I'm devoted to you."
Oh, I
You
remember
know,
that.
isn't that so sweet?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You know, and I think even if you don't believe in gurus, even if you don't ever want to have one in your life, you know, put all of that aside, I think like the sheer humanitarian work he's done is something
beyond.
I don't even know, how can you describe, like, and I only know a fraction of it, right? Like even going to Isha Gramotsavam and seeing like the impact it's had. I didn't even know about this program that Isha had, and they go into rural villages and they help teach people how to like play sports, and they come and they
Especially
compete.
women,
Especially
right?
women,
Yeah,
right? And to
yeah.
get, they're saying to get a woman in a village to come out of her home for something other than her family is very hard to do. And these women are leaving to go practice so that they can play in tournaments and then make it on a bigger level, right? So the scholarships that go out to that. And that was just a fraction of what he started through Isha. And I think his sheer generosity humbles me every day. Like looking at what he's provided for us in Sadhanapada, which is also just a small fraction of the programs he's gotten started. So I think, to me, I don't think I will ever come across somebody that generous. I think that's what's touched me the most.
Oh, so good.
I know.
And yeah, I've just done all the advanced programs recently in Sadhanapada. You have done them previously, like before Sadhanapada. And you cannot say like what's your favorite program. They are super different. Like,
I know, they're
right?
so different,
You go to
right?
BSP, you're like, wow, and then Shunya, and then Samyama, you're like, I just done Samyama a month ago. I'm still recovering, I think. Still
Yeah,
figuring
sounds
out.
about right. That sounds about right.
What is it? But like maybe what was your experience, if you want to share, not about each program, but just like in general, what was your the most intense moment or like moment of transformation?
I don't know if I felt necessarily transformed in those programs like Shunya and BSP, but I think it was like the after effects of those, like going home after BSP, like you just feel lighter. You feel like you've shed something that you no longer need, and then you walk through life a little bit different, a little bit lighter. And then with Shunya, like learning Shakti Chalana Kriya was just like such a powerful practice, right? I mean, that just there's like people like say like welcome to your new life after BSP, but I feel like that after Shunya, like welcome to your new life after learning Shakti Chalana Kriya.
I was like, how did I live all my life without it? That's what I thought.
That one practice, I mean, that is, if there's only one practice I can get to in a day, it's going to be Shakti Chalana Kriya because it's so powerful.
Yes.
And I did a quality improvement project on Shakti Chalana Kriya. So I looked at my productivity a year before doing Shakti Chalana Kriya, and then I looked at it a year after having learned Shakti Chalana Kriya, and my productivity at work went up 33%.
Wow.
So I wasn't like, seeing, I wasn't working more days. It was the same fixed schedule, but I could actually see more patients in a day and be more efficient and be more focused and leave my stress at the hospital and not take it home. My days were just so much more fluid and a lot less friction. And I could switch tasks a lot quicker and stuff. So it gave me like a level of focus and sharpness that I hadn't had before. So it was like, I mean, that practice is so powerful.
Yeah. And Samyama, we just don't know what to say.
I know.
Anyway.
Samyama is just like that. And that's going to be different for each person, right?
Yes, like so nothing to say.
Yeah. That was wild. That was so cool.
It was wild.
Yeah. That was
good,
so cool.
and like everything you can say, it's there. So you just go and experience for yourself.
Just go and experience, yeah.
All right, last question. Do you think yoga is for everyone?
That's such a great question. So yoga means union, right? And when you practice yoga, I think one of, I don't want to say goals of yoga because it's not about a goal, but at some point you get to this place where you see the other as yourself. And I think we're in this, like, I don't want to say desperate, we're kind of in a desperate place in humanity with so much conflict. There's a lot of war. There's a lot of just horrible things happening, right? Like one of the things that like really has bothered me in the last few weeks was Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein files coming out and looking at the horrific number of children who have been abused through all of this. And if there was an ounce of yoga and the people who are doing these things to children and you saw the other as yourself, then you're less likely to harm somebody, right? And at that point, you don't need to have like the 10 commandments telling you like you shouldn't kill, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't whatever.
Right.
But if there's a sense of union with you and the things around you, then you're less likely to go and kill somebody in a war. You're less likely to abuse a child. You're less likely to say horrific things or do bad things to people, right? So in that sense, you know, I do think yoga is for everybody, and it's such a beautiful thing to go inside. And if we don't have this inward, you know, exploration of ourselves, then I think we're just, I don't know, humanity's just not in a good place right now. We need more people doing these kind of things. And maybe it's not Isha, maybe it's not Sadhguru, maybe it's something else. And that's okay. There's many paths leading to the same thing.
Yeah.
But to see yourself in the other, I think, is what humanity needs right now.
Yeah. And it's good that I asked you about yoga, and you were saying about like inner side of yoga, not like exercises, because mainly for a lot of people, yoga is just like going to the yoga studio, twisting your body, doing like exercises. This is yoga, but this is not only that. Yes, we are doing hatha practices, hatha yoga, which is amazing, and kriyas, right? But yoga is way more than that. It's inner transformation, which is beyond words. You just need to experience that in whichever way you can, because yes, as you said, there's so many teachers and paths, but you just find your path, what's your heart responds to. Like we found it here in India, in the ashram, but if you also have that calling, you can come and experience, but there's not only one place. But this is actually a good place.
It's a good place.
This is the place.
Yeah, it's a good place. Not that we're biased, but we're biased. It's been a beautiful journey, a beautiful path, and we're definitely not the same people that we were coming into this.
Yeah, definitely.
I know that, and I think we're going to realize that more when we go back home. When you go back to Russia and I go back to Texas, and we're around our friends and family, and
they will be like, well, let's see.
Yeah, we'll see, right? You know, and because I think, and I love how Sadhguru talks about transformation. The best transformation is not to tell somebody else how to act and how to behave, but if you yourself change, that is the ripple effect that's going to affect everything around you, right? Yeah. We so desperately want somebody outside of us, or situation or circumstance outside of us, to go exactly the way we want. And if it goes exactly the way we want, then we'll be happy. But none of those things are going to happen exactly the way we want. It's never going to happen, right? So if you're waiting for the world around you to change to be happy, then you're never going to be happy. But if you can fix this internal state to just be happy, then situations, circumstances, and people are going to come at you, and whatever happens around you won't affect you as much.
Yeah, I agree, totally agree. Thank you, Akka. It was so lovely to talk to you.
Thank you, it's been an honor. Thank you, Akka.
Yes. Okay. Yes,
Thank you. This was fun.
Yeah.